Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'll talk about the UV unwrapping and texturing process for the table and the chair. This video is the fourth part of a series about my journey into learning 3D art, and you can watch the other videos with the link in the description. So, with continuity in mind, I started where I left off in the last video. With UV unwrapping, it is important to be careful about where the seams are placed, as placing the seams in the wrong places can make the textures look pretty unrealistic. This process is kind of confusing to me and I was struggling with it at the beginning, but I think I understood the process nicely in the end. I thought I had an extra face inside the mesh that was probably disrupting the UV, but that wasn't the case. I'm not exactly sure why the map showed a face when there wasn't one, but I think it might be because I forgot to unwrap it after marking the seams. After unwrapping the UV, it's a good idea to check for stretching in the UV map. It's best to have no stretching at all. Placing the seams in the right places can help with minimizing the stretching in the UVs. I have very little experiences with the unwrapping process, so this is me going out of my comfort zone basically. After I was happy with the unwrap, I proceeded to apply textures to it. I found the materials on polyhaven.com, which was previously known as HDRI Haven, if I remember correctly. I'll leave the link in the description. This website has a pretty good collection of high quality free and paid materials, HDRIs, and models. For my purposes, I downloaded two different wood materials for the table and the chair. The materials came with a texture map, a normal map, and a roughness map. And they're pretty easy to set up and apply to the object. All these maps together make the table look pretty realistic in my opinion, although I think I could have made it a little better if I fiddled with it a bit more. After I was done with the tabletop, I moved to the legs of the table. The process is the same as the tabletop. I applied a mirror modifier and proceeded to add seams and unwrap the mesh. I had two mirror modifiers on the legs, and it's best to apply the mirrors after marking the seams. This makes things easier to work with. The legs were particularly difficult to unwrap as I was quite unsure about where to place the seams. It had to have a balance between being invisible but also have a clean unwrap with minimal stretching in the UV. It was quite a challenge for me and I don't think I did a good job with placing the seams on this. I also had some trouble arranging the UVs properly. In the end, I managed to unwrap it in a way that I was kind of okay with. After that, applying the textures was pretty easy and I don't have much to say about that. I used the same textures as the tabletop for the legs. Before moving to unwrapping the chair, I tried setting up a composition with simple yet aesthetically pleasing background, playing with the lights and whatnot. Finally, for the chair, the process was exactly the same as the table. The only difference is that this had a solidify modifier that I applied and marked some of the edges to be sharp, so it would make the parts look thicker. Unwrapping the parts of the chair was pretty simple, but it still could have been a lot better. There's not much else to talk about the chair, it was pretty easy in my opinion. The last part was just setting up a nice composition to render out. I brought back the donut and the coffee just for the sake of continuity and placed them in places I thought would look nice. Overall, it was a great experience to try something I had very little experience with and achieve results that I'm pretty happy with. It might not be as good as other more experienced artists' works, but I'm still happy with it. And with that, I'll leave this video here. I hope this was enjoyable to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.